Welcome to today's chess action. Like the video and subscribe for updates. Control of the center with d4, preparing to develop other pieces and potentially creating space for the bishop on c4.
Pawn to d5 is the best move.
Pawn to c4 is the best move.
Knight to f6.
Knight to c3 is good. This develops a knight. Pawn captures on d5 is best. This is a trade.
Pawn to e6.
Developing the knight to a strong central square, preparing to control the pawn to d5 square and potentially attacking black's pawn on d5, while also supporting the central pawns and preparing to develop other pieces.
Bishop to b4.
Bishop to f4.
Preparing to develop the queenside pieces and support the central pawn structure. Bishop to d7 also pins the knight on b4, making it difficult for black to play. c5.
Pawn catches on d5 is the best move.
Kingside castle.
Rook to c1.
Pawn to c6.
Bishop to d3.
Pawn to c5 is the best move.
Castling kingside, connecting the rooks and putting the king in a safer position, while also preparing to develop the queenside pieces and control the center with the pawns.
Attacking the kingside pawn structure. Pawn to f5 opens lines for the bishop and queen to potentially attack black's position, while also preparing to develop the kingside pieces and potentially create a weakness on the kingside.
Knight to e5.
Bishop captures on c3 is good. This is a trade. This attacks the pawn. Queen to e7 is best. This defends a bishop on b4.
Pawn captures on c3 is the best move.
Bishop to e8.
Pawn to f3 is the best move.
Knight to f6 is the best move.
Bishop to g5 is good. Queen to b3 is best. This defends a pawn on f4. This attacks the pawn. This move gains a tempo.
Now from file b to d7.
Pawn to f4.
Preparing to develop the kingside. Pawn to h6 attacks the bishop on g5, gaining a small advantage and preparing to potentially push d5, while also supporting the pawn structure on the kingside.
Bishop to h4 is best.
Queen to c7 is excellent. This defends a pawn on b7. Knight catches on e5 is best. This is a trade.
I played pawn to h3 to challenge black's kingside pawn structure and prepare for a potential kingside attack. The move also pins black's knight on f6, making it difficult for them to attack my position.
Knight captures on e5 is the best move.
I played pawn captures on e5 to challenge black's knight on f8, creating a pin on the knight and preparing to develop the rest of my pieces. This move also opens up the f-file for my rook to potentially use later.
Knight to e4 is the best move.
Pawn captures on d5 is the best move.
I played pawn captures on e4 to challenge black's pawn structure and create a potential weakness on the kingside. The move also pins black's knight on f6, making it difficult for them to defend against potential attacks.
Queen to g4.
I played rx1 plus to pin the black king against the queen, forcing a recapture and gaining a strong initiative. The f-file is now open for my rook to potentially launch a powerful attack.
Rook captures on f1.
Queen to d7 is the best move.
Preparing to develop the queenside pieces and putting pressure on black's position, bishop to f6 supports the pawn on pawn to d5 and prepares to potentially play d5 while also eyeing black's knight on s6, potentially creating a pin threat.
Preparing to develop the kingside, supporting the pawn on pawn to f5 and preparing to potentially play h5 to challenge white's kingside pawn structure.
Pawn to h4 is inaccuracy. This move leaves pawn hanging on c4. This misses an opportunity to create a checkmate threat. A chance to attack a pawn with pawn to h4 was missed. The opponent can play kh7. Queen to h4 is best. This attacks the pawn. This move gains a tempo. This creates a checkmate threat.
Pawn to h5 is mistake. The opponent can play qg5. King to h7 is best. This defends the pawn on h6.
Queen to g5.
I played bishop to e8 to prepare for the potential pawn storm on the kingside, supporting the central pawns and preparing to develop the rest of the pieces. This move also slightly weakens the kingside pawn structure, but it's a small price to pay for the long-term strategic benefits.
Pawn to g4 is mistake. This move leaves pawn hanging on c4. This misses an opportunity to create a checkmate threat. The opponent can play qh7. Bishop to e7 is best. This creates a checkmate threat.
Queen to h7 is best.
King to h2.
Pawn to 5 is good. Pawn captures on g4 is best. This is a trade.
Rook to g1 is excellent. Pawn to c5 is best.
Preparing to develop the queenside pawns and potentially creating a passed pawn on the queenside, while also supporting the central pawn structure and preparing to potentially play d5.
I played pawn captures on h5 to challenge black's kingside pawn structure and create a potential weakness on the kingside. The move also pins black's knight on g7, making it difficult for them to defend against potential attacks.
Pawn to b5 is good. This offers a trade. This attacks the pawn. Pawn catches on c4 is best.
Pawn catches on g6 is best. This is a trade. This attacks the queen. This creates a checkmate threat.
Bishop catches on g6. The game is over. White wins.